Greetings, I'm Joyce. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Land of the Insane. So tonight is the whales, cities under the sea, and mother of color, rainbow worlds. Imagine many can relate to the rainbow planets. So I'm not sure where the whole whale situation is going to go. Cities under the sea. It might be just a whole bunch of. We might be just in rainbow world for most of this, so just to let you know. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to. Too funny. Ziotor.com. Private sessions. The shop here. I'm on the 16th or 18th for some people. Same situation here. Webinar. Sign up. Social network. Grab it. Behind the scenes and dating site. So the whales is kind of like it almost feels like electricity. It's not AI, but it's similar, but it's more of a vibrational level. I mean, it's like electricity in the sea, something like that. Harmonics, higher frequencies from other planets, communicating with other worlds, things of that kind. Cities under the sea, we'll just see where that goes, like I said, and rainbow reality world. But one thing about experiencing recently is like a lot of people when they have their awakening, sometimes it's a kid where they see too many ghosts or beings and they have to shut themselves down. Oh yeah, Priscilla's here. Fritzy is somewhere else. She's an Olympic athlete, so she has her. I think my camera just moved, so she has her own thing going on. Says that it's hotter than anything up here. It's not too bad right now, but usually it's pretty hot. Anyway, about the awakening, when people have their awakening and they get too much when they're a kid, they have to shut themselves down. They might see like a slimer type of being from other realities or whatever it might be. For me, it was I can't remember a lot of my childhood. Actually, I don't remember much. Actually, not much. But I do remember. Didn't go so well. I can remember past lives of other people, which really sucks. So I can connect to somebody. So I can see somebody, remember them from another lifetime. But it doesn't mean I'm supposed to connect to that person here. So that's fun. So that really can mess you up. And it did many times. But it's funny though, you can also connect to their energy pretty well, which is more, I don't know. Sometimes it might be an attack and it's like you're going through time travel. It's like you're in the past, but you're in the present, and it's kind of convoluted what's going on. You get confused. Yeah, those aren't fun. So yeah, because you can get really confused really fast. Of like, am I supposed to know this person? Am I just supposed to just let this be? Or yeah, it's a pain. So anyway, and everything. So okay, we're going to the whales and go on from there. Oh yeah, I don't know. I think I mentioned this yesterday, but yeah, like the middle of April. I don't know. See, so for next week, it's those. I mean, obviously more propaganda that they've been doing. It feels like they're going to cool it down a little bit. Maybe not entirely though. Yeah, just I don't know. Some of the propaganda we're going through at this time. People aren't trusting the government. You don't wonder why. So it's like half and half. It's like half inflation, half they're going to relax it a little bit. So I guess I think Monday I heard somewhere where the for people that are getting funding for their rent and things like that, that's going to expire Monday. So I'm not sure where that's going to go. So like when leases are forgiven and things like that, that expires, I believe, Monday. So we'll just have to wait and see where that goes. Somebody's moving around in the background. I get Solar Explorer. So all right, we're going to the whales and move on from there. All right, Greetings to you. We are the whale consciousness from Sirius. We are about longevity, about your youth, about how long you want to live on this world. Of course, Mother Earth wants to live forever, but there's always cycles of what needs to happen through a certain cycle or a timeline, time frame, however you want to viewpoint it on your reality. But we do work with, we're at whales, but we work much with the elderly. Even if we are at sea, we help your souls connect to this world. So we are a vortex, you could say. So we pull energies from your world to this, from your home world to this world. We connect to all many different ways, almost like we're a travel agency of higher frequencies. So we're just moving the energies around. And we know many of you very well. Many of you do telepathically connect to us. And you might not, of course, be aware of it, especially some of you that have kind of like a large father. Usually it's a male, normally. Sometimes where your father is as big as a whale. So that's another thing. Is like, is that guy from the Whale Collective? Probably. Especially when he has trouble losing weight, or he can never lose weight at all. So it gives an indication of. Normally, whales are in male incarnations. The females normally they find other ways of skinning themselves up, but because that's a lot of weight to carry around. And why have a whale for a father? I know it sounds kind of humorous, but for grounding purposes, to ground you humans here. You have a job, you have a mission here, whatever it might be. We don't always know what you're here for, but we're here to assist you in your journey. Where, yeah, even of course, many of you aren't aware, of course, in the physical, you're not intended to. Even a lot of your spirit guides aren't aware of what you're here to do. Their spirit guides are a lot of times just assigned for a certain task. They're not always supposed to see exactly what you're there to do because they're learning with you. So you don't know, they don't know either. But as long as they do their task, that's all that really matters. So our frequency levels, yes, are part of a lot of Earth changes, as we do see the future quite well. Of course, you have to jump in the water and find one of us and to connect to us. Most likely, we won't tell you the future anyway, but we're glad you're there. So yes, we are time travelers. Of course, everyone's a time traveler, but for the whale vibrations, we are basically like the intelligence of other planets to keep your world alive, to keep the seas moving, to keep all elements of life in this process. The shark is yes the warrior of the earth, was of the sea. But the sharks are usually actually quite kind. They might have sharp teeth and everything and dominating, but a lot of them are not really aggressive at all. They're just like any other sea life. The one that's you want to talk about vicious, if you're asking, is the octopus. They can be very consuming of oneself. especially when they get angry. Normally, they're fine overall. They have a personality. They're very intelligent. But even, of course, the squids, also the octopus, we would say is more like your. Doesn't mean your oceans have a kingdom or a leader, but the octopus plays a big role in that. It's because a whale is like one of the largest beings, or the largest, depending on what whale you're talking about, of the ocean. Does not mean that we are, the leaders of it. Not that you have a leader of the ocean, but once again, just like your lions of the jungle, there is, a dominant energy there. And we would say it's more the octopus because whales are not here. We're just here to move the vibrations around. Yes, we have personality, we do have conversations, but we're not ones of domination. At least there's some octopus that are very much of a dominant species. That's for you to connect with. But once again, our energy is there for longevity, healing, Kundalini energy of connecting to your higher source, sixth, seventh dimension vibrations, of where you can actually sustain it. So you wonder why you go out into the sea, why you swim in the oceans, why you connect with nature, why some people are health nuts because they want longevity. Some of you are meat eaters and just eat vegetables. And I was like, God, just I need something else. Like you need meat instead. It's usually the case of that you've just been through a lot. You've been through so much from your Earth's past that you just need a heavier energy to help you ground yourself here. When you're connecting to, healthy foods, it does heighten your vibration, but wouldn't you want to just leave if that was you? Because many of you have been through so much great deal of heartache. Like sometimes a steak is just as good as eating leafy greens or something like that, or something that's healthy. Yeah, it's just the soul takes some. I mean, the earth needs you for a certain reason. You're not just here for your mission. The earth asked you here, or someone that's similar to you, to help calibrate her vibration to the direction what she's trying to create, the masterpiece she's trying to invent. Of course, when you incarnate here, you get lost and forgotten. So it's like you're all colors, part of a larger canvas of a painting. And you are larger in life. You might not always feel that way in this lifetime, but you are because you have multiple incarnations. Just here you're just playing a small role, which is still large. Just you don't always. It might seem significant, but it's very significant. It just might feel like it doesn't really matter, but it does. It doesn't mean that your hair is on a person's arm or anything like that. It's it's so much more to it than that. I mean, many of you are working to for God's source vibration, so you can connect to the God within you, your higher power. But to do that is patience and not getting ahead of yourself. But our vibrations as a whale being are normally very welcoming to all humans. I don't believe you find many aggressive whales often or at all for that matter. So look at that energy there, a welcoming energy to all. How many of you have had whale lifetimes? Some of you might look like a whale. It's like, well, I think I was a whale in a past life. That's not a bad thing. So you wonder where that jolly comes from. It's a whale incarnation. Greetings to you. We are the consciousness of the ocean. Yes, your soul origins. And yes, some of you hear our voice, our messages to you. which is daily, which sometimes is a constant. Come swim with us. Be part of our energies. Remember your astral plane. Remember when the world was lighter. Remember everything. You'd be surprised how many of you would be actually happier if you actually lived on an island where there's very few people. That's when you really activate yourself. You have the means and necessities in your life. You just live a simple life. You get up, maybe you go to work, but you enjoy the work, or if you don't, it still has a higher frequency about it. Or just your life is simple. And simple connects you to the higher astral planes. Of course, there are cities here that under the sea, yes, have hidden themselves, but not entirely. They give you a clue of your past. As there are also just mansions under the sea, where many of you actually lived. Of course, it was above the ocean at one time. So many of you actually have a seat in the ocean, a chair, a place you sat, rested, commanded the earth. Eventually, that we remembered when the time is right. The Nile River, yes, is a lot of blood line energies there, but it's still very much protected, controlled by other entities. There's actually a lot of Zeta energies around your Egypt, as they're still trying to discover your Earth's past, because they have versions of your Earth's past, but a lot of the aliens don't have the exact version of how things accumulated, how things happen. But they do see the underground cities under your Egyptian sands. As you connect more to your higher dimensional self, your multi-dimensional layers, you'll see as other planets, worlds where you felt more bliss. And this world, yes, is a world of violence. We pulled the violence from other worlds and brought it here. Brought the war on so many different levels. How can I take myself out of my comfort zone? This is why you have the weather that you do. Heavy weather, cold weather, hot weather, manipulative weather, it doesn't really matter. It takes you out of your comfort zone. That was necessary to actually pull you out of the astral plane to help you learn about yourself. Because some beings in the astral plane learn nothing about themselves. Some become pranksters. Some of the higher dimensional beings become evil over time. They just get out of control. So you're here to balance yourself. It's like, what do I need to let go? What do I need to discover about myself? And this world's invented. And there's other worlds that are similar. Is this one? This one is kind of ugly on many levels. Meaning your architecture isn't always the most beautiful. Society has a lot of difficulties connecting. So it has a lot of ugly within it. It's not really ready to mature and finding the beauty within it. But that's why many of you are here, is to bring a beauty from the inside out. So it's been having difficulties with that. It's hiding a great deal, of course. Because as you know, as you incarnate here, you're not allowed to heal yourselves. You don't even know why you're here. It's like, what's my purpose? Is that you discover your darkness, discover yourself, your origins, your peace of mind, letting your mind be free and going anywhere you want in the universe. Not having a restriction in your own brain. Your mind is your most powerful entity, part of you. But of course, it's been blocked by other beings. Many of you are actually reincarnated Anunnaki beings. Of course, many deny the Anunnaki connections for obvious reasons. Because you don't always need to know your origins just yet. You don't always need to know about your past lives just yet. Well, some of you are getting a little bit of a tearjerker there. So yes, I believe this has been said before, but those that are very positive here now, some have been very dark their lifetime before. Some have actually admitted to it. Well, because they remember, but not everybody remembers. So some of your spiritual leaders have been thieves, they've been murderers, and some have just been nobodies, and they just sold themselves out, and they're just being programmed by other entities to be spiritual. So we'll leave you with that connection. So the ocean vibrations basically a member of your astral self. to give you a glimpse of that, of freedom, of just feeling weightlessness, like you don't have a care in the world. This is your hint of the astral plane. Of course, you're not seeing astral beings, but I guess it depends on who you are, what frequency you connect with. Because some of you, as soon as you touch the water, you see a ship in the sky. So the water is an activator in many different levels. Brings you. I am, yes, the mother of color. Yes, connecting you to rainbow realities. Many of you have incarnated as a color. You wonder why you like pink, blues, yellows, greens. Some of you have actually been that energy. Actually, many of you are part of the origins of that vibration in this reality. Sometimes it's easier to be a color that's created here through like a painting or painted here in some painted on a canvas or painted on a wall. Maybe you chose that instead of incarnating as an animal or a tree. You incarnate as color instead. Technically, you can incarnate as a leaf if you wish to, the consciousness of a leaf energy. And as a leaf, you hear a lot of conversations very, very clearly. But many of you have actually invented colors in many different realms. You might not remember it now. Well, of course, you're not given a chance to think like that. You're not given the chance to just be free. Yes, be a child again. To see what your imagination opens up to you. Because realize as a child, some have actually talked to child beings here, have talked to invisible friends. Well, to them, that friend was there. So you connect back to your inner child, your friend or someone else, a being reappears here. And eventually others will see it. But for that to happen, yes, is to just let this world go. Voice its mind control on so many different levels. And many of you are doing it, but so many are holding on to it. Yes, a sinking ship. Pretty much. Well, your world is becoming more simpler. It is showing its darkness through governments, but it's also finding a simpler way for you to live your life. Eventually, that become more and more part of your society. This is when your connections become more clear. Right now, the world is so complicated, so many blockages. There's this going on, that's going on. That's why so many people connect with nature. It's like, I need to find a simple place to be. Of course, and it's not just the place, but it's the color of it, of course, the vibration, but a lot of it has to do with color. Yeah, what your attraction to. Color plays a big role in your own aura. It's like if I connect to that color, it'll clear my aura, which you need desperately. Not everyone, of course, is ready to awaken. That is quite all right. But you find ways of always finding happiness where others have known they figured out themselves, their previous lifetimes, but all they find is misery because there's healing all of that. And sometimes ignorance is bliss, not remembering anything. Because you can open up your past incarnations for soul healing, and it can be too much, as many of you know already. So this is why so many stay blocked instead. It's just an easier voyage. So connecting color and vibrations is a necessity. Now, when you see two different colors, yellow or blue or something like that, realize that's when you mix them together, that is still a sexual connection. On a canvas, on a wall, anywhere, it's still a sexual connection. Yes, you have to add that to your element. Well, because it also creates another color too. Now, you might not be seeing it that in your reality. Eventually, the walls will talk. So we painted this wall this color, so children can be born here and so forth. Or it's easier for a soul to incarnate here. It's like it makes him feel comfortable coming into this world. So color plays so much of a role in this reality. Of course, not seen too clearly due to the mind control on your planet because they feel that it's too playful, it's too childlike. But that's how you open up the higher realms. Yes, with laughter. It's releasing all that negativity is not the easiest. Notice how so much serious energy is here, and that does come from Sirius. Part of it does. From a constellation, yes, to make everything, because they have a lot to heal within themselves too. But truly, the playful vibrations that some do connect to, yes, maybe some would say it's. Well, some have a weird way of getting into your inner child where it's bodily functions, things like that. But the souls here are, yes, you are connected to music energy. So you combine music with color, sound, and color, open up the vibrational realms. So many are very afraid of portal opening, but really, there's nothing to be afraid of. If you're afraid of a portal being open, if other people opening up portals, I mean, your energy is not right. You don't know your own vibration yet. Because you should be able to handle anything. Well, the governments know how to open up portals all the time. That's what they have downtown cities and all that. They know exactly what they're doing. But it says knowing yourself and what you're here to do it makes it, of course, more complicated. But if you're around like-minded people, there's nothing really to be worried about. Because you open up more portal vibrations with color, sound, what you feel within yourself. These cities will not be able to function anymore. You're already kind of seeing that. It's not something that you let go instantly. Doesn't mean you're going to all run out to nature, but you are going to move away from the cities eventually in some form or another. But once again, you know, with many spiritual groups, as they get together, they still have a lot to heal within themselves also. Well, they can't always let out their darkness. I mean, you let it out in the city, but then you take it to a spiritual community, and a whole another side of darkness comes through. And that's why some spiritual communities getting taken over or invaded by darker energy. Well, they find they're comfortable there to release it. But it's if you're in part of a spiritual community, it's how to harness it, how to heal it, how to understand it, how to work with it. It doesn't mean you have to kick everybody out, no. But many of your origins are color. It's vibration. Usually it's for the higher frequency, pink, yellows, greens, it really doesn't matter. Black is more of an archon vibration, but that's more of a grounding energy. White is, once again, kind of the same thing. But, of course, white, black is pretty much a portal. Purple is a portal also. So you're combining energies. So you wonder how to create a portal yourself, just using color in your own mind. Basically, yes, having a calmness about yourself. Just not basically releasing worry. If you feel the need to open up a portal around it, doesn't mean aliens are going to fly through, but possibly might feel the consciousness that's on the other side of that. And also feel other versions of Earth to that portal also. Palladium beings use portals all the time as they enter into the Earth's energy field. Of course, they can use Bermuda Triangle and things like that, but it's technically a portal also. A highway. But your color of your oceans will eventually just shift its vibration, probably most likely to a pink color in your future, as your Earth becomes more lighter with itself. So you start seeing pink anywhere, anything with water and pink. That shows you're going into a new direction overall. Your Nile, yes, your Egyptian Nile River, when that starts going to it, the colors of that become more higher frequency. It shows your world is going to a new direction. Blessings to you.